I am the founder of For Girls GLocal Leadership, and the acronym for that is for GGL. I champion 1 billion girls that is on our planet today. And more specifically, we are actually not only making history, but we are making her story, following 7 young women around the world who are making extraordinary changes in the most violent countries on the planet. The organization was founded in 2010. But to be honest with you, this is work that I've been doing forever. So it feels like I've been doing it since I was 8 years old. The evolution of it just happened very serendipitously. First, I would tell anyone to learn more about the issue. There are 1 billion girls and young women on this planet. It is actually the largest number ever in history. We have today the most number of young people on the planet, and this number, this large number of young people is only going to multiply and get bigger and bigger. In fact, the world population is only going to get bigger, and by the time population demographics are projected to reach 10 billion on the planet in the next 50 years. So the population is going to increase, and the largest number of young people are actually in the poorest countries, and in fact in the most violent countries. So I would encourage people to first learn about the issue, learn about what the lives of young women, just like young women here in the United States, what that would be like. And then second, I would encourage, of course, to go on the website forggl.org and learn more. We also have social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and you can learn more about the issue. And really, there's never been a time like now to learn about issues. This isn't just problems and tragedies that are happening to girls over there. There's also problems that are happening to our girls here in the United States. And there is a common theme, and there is a common solution as well, which is why I started the organization, to really create a next generation of young women who are going to become change. I would say that it probably started even before I knew. I would like to say my mother, but really the first person who influenced me, and I knew she was influencing my life, was a mentor that I met when I moved to the United States. I was born in South Korea, and when I came to the United States, I landed in Houston, Texas, and there was a blonde-hair Southern belle that came up to me and befriended me. And rather than it being intimidating a foreign person, she really encouraged inquiry, questioning, critical thinking. And she never said she didn't have an answer. She always said, let's go find out and let's go figure it out together. And she didn't make me feel like an outsider. So I questioned, and we always came up with an answer. If she didn't have it, we would go find out the answer. And at that time, I didn't even know what a mentor was, but I realized that was what she was doing. And when I'm talking about mentor, I'm not just talking about an older person who cares about you and who has interest in you. I'm talking about someone who is actually seeing your aspiration as well as your capacity even before you know it, even before you have the skills. She saw greatness in me even before I knew that I had any greatness. Well, first I want to define or demystify the word millennial. Millennials mean nothing outside of the United States. This is a term that has been coined by marketers to sell products in the United States. And if you said millennials to even people in Europe, they won't know what that means. Millennials are young people that came to the age of young adulthood right at the turn of this century. So I would say roundabout, they are at the age of maybe on the lower end 18 years old, and at the high end 35. The age bracket that I target is even more narrow, and I would say in the early 20s. And the reason for that is because they really have extraordinary opportunities, whether it be education, or whether it be entrepreneurship, or whether it be creating change in their own community. Never before in history can young people of that age can really impact the world. Not that it wasn't being done, and not that there weren't Lone Rangers, but today, the amount of technology, the amount of information, educational opportunities, and people that are actually wanting them to succeed in life is extraordinary. But on the flip side, also poverty, violence, and horrible violence that we now sadly can see plastered in media is also happening. So it is very interesting that for some reason, as a human being, we have to see the horrific violence in order to take action. But that is what is motivating them to take action. So millennials they are a very special group of people that can take action, and they are socially conscious. They also believe in equality, and they just really are compassionate, good age cohort. I would tell my younger self, and in fact, it's exactly what my mentor, her name was Barbara Crocker, she would tell me. When I met her, and I would, prior to meeting her, all the limitations were based on gender. Little girls don't do this, little girls don't wear that, little girls don't go there. It was all of these things that little girls could not do. And she told me that my life and my destiny was not dependent on my gender. Of course, she also advocated for ethnic diversity, so it wasn't dependent on your ethnic background. It wasn't dependent on even where you were born. She said it was dependent on your action. And so every single day I knew that whatever I did has not only an impact in my life, but it also impacts other people. There is a ripple effect. And so I would say that the advice I would give is be accountable for your action. Be accountable for your inaction, things that you are apathetic about or don't think you can make a difference, because even if you do nothing, that also has an impact. So I would say that's the advice that I would give. Now, that also means that's a tall order. Taking accountability is difficult. We, as human beings, we love blaming. We love blaming our parents. We love blaming our government. We love blaming corporations. We just love blaming other people. But when you become an actionist, which is what she trained me to be, I'm not an activist. I am not an advocate. I'm an actionist. And by being trained in action, it actually means you are also accountable for the actions that you take. What I do have, though, is inner fire. Believe it or not, now I speak everywhere. Many times they're at universities, large audience. But there was a time when I hated public speaking. I was that nervous child that would read from a scripted note because it just terrified me to know that I had to speak in front of people. Even if it was no more than 5, it was terrifying. And today, I do the best I can to speak as naturally to any group. And it really doesn't matter. I may land in Dallas, Texas and talk to people in Texas. Or I may go to China and talk to a young group of people in China. I may talk to politicians, I may talk to business people. And what I've learned that because I feel very passionate about this issue, and it of course goes beyond passion. I also have had education, I've had the information, but really at the end of the day, if I didn't care, and I knew that this really was my mission in life, I wouldn't be able to speak from my heart, I wouldn't be able to speak authentically. And I've learned that I've become an orator, and I don't know if that's a natural trait that I already had it in me, or if that's a skill that I've built versus some other skills like writing. That isn't my thing, so it takes a lot more time to write. But really, when it comes to speaking, I don't have a song. I don't have to get psyched up. Generally, just thinking about and knowing girls who I've seen with my own eyes take action in an extraordinary way and bold, and that energizes me to be able to speak without having some I Will Survive song in the background. So we just launched our global survey of millennial women around the world, and the survey focused on the word empowerment. Again, just like millennial, the word empowerment doesn't mean much to young women around the world, because the word doesn't exist. I mean, can you imagine a word that doesn't exist? That actually means that we don't have consciousness of what that is. But one of the things that I have learned through this survey is that I put it even more simply. Empowerment is the can-do factor. It's the essence of can-do. It's when you go from I cannot do something to I can do. And I know that's something that everyone knows what that is. So I would tell young women around the world that ask yourself, when you feel that you can't do something, ask yourself, yes, you can do. Now, I wouldn't hope you wouldn't fake it. I also wouldn't hope that you wouldn't do it inauthentically. But that is what empowerment is. Maybe it's getting more information, maybe it's getting help, maybe it's getting support, maybe it's being part of a group. But here's what I do know, is that none of us are on this journey together. And that once you see other people can do, you realize that you too can do.